Morning, morning, morning. Peace, everyone. Peace. Coffee time, episode 10. Everybody eats, y'all. Everybody eats. Um, I was thinking about this Caitlin Clark thing, and I know it's been a while since I've been doing my coffee time thing, and you know, I've been a little busy with work. So I noticed that a lot of people have been making a lot of content, a lot of talk, a lot of stuff again around Caitlin Clark and you know in her contract. First of all, for those that don't know, and I'm quite sure everybody knows now and has been following the story, all the WNBA contracts are basically set in stone. They basically have a wage cap or a salary cap, just like any other sport. And what was upsetting about all the content that's being put out there about the Caitlin Clark, her, and people. A lot of people feel like they're using her as like this great white hype, and they're really trying to make it seem like she's better than all them other girls that came out. She is. When you look at on the basketball court, she is the best player. Um, she has been the best player in college basketball the last 2 years. That's the amazing thing about it is that, and I know that it's a lot of us that follow uh, women college sports, or may not follow it like that, or just watch it during the tournament time because that's when women college basketball really gets good. But to just talk about Caitlin Clark and what's going on with her and everything, you even had the president come out and say that try to use that as a talking point, talk about women getting their fair wages. This is how bad people are, and they just jump on stuff and don't understand that. Even the president said it, and not realizing that the WNBA literally has a salary cap, and everybody gets, based on where you get drafted, that's how much money you're gonna make. They know beforehand. The WNBA is not as popular as college basketball. I know it sounds crazy. It is not as popular as women's college basketball. The WNBA, to be honest with you guys, for those that don't know, the WNBA has been basically operating in the red for years. The WNBA, the NBA tried to help them, sold them, tried to sell them, tried to get other people to invest in them. It's a bad league. It doesn't sell. For example, the WNBA, you guys, the season starts in May and ends in September. They have a 40-game season this year. It starts in May and ends in September. You're not going to get, let's just say, for lack of better words, a family of four. Say if you get 20 games at home, say if you say, okay, we're supporters of the WNBA, we're going to get 5, 6 games, a 5, 6 games package. Nobody's doing that. Nobody is watching the WNBA. Nobody's going to the WNBA games. You know why? Nobody's going to an arena in the middle of the summer when they could do a lot of outside activities. And I know most people be like, what are you talking about? People go to baseball games. Actually, people don't go to baseball games. People go to games when certain teams are playing: the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mets, Houston, when they play each other and they come to town. But for the most part, attendance wise, teams struggle in baseball, and that's an outside event. Oakland A's basically don't even have a home because they was having 4 or 5 thousand people show up. It's not a draw. And baseball's been around for almost 150 years. So we need to understand that the WNBA, number one, whether it's a black player or a white player, is not a popular league. It's not making no money. and it's never going to make no money. That's just my personal opinion. It's never going to make no money. I know they done tried it. You've had teams, for example, Houston Comets, for those that don't know, won consecutive championships, 3, 4 years in a row. They had the star power on the team. Cynthia Cooper was on the team. She goes all the way back. She went all the way back to playing with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Swoops at the time was one of the best players in the country, in the world probably. She was on the team. Tina Thompson was on the team. It was not drawing. That team actually folded. So now you get a bunch of people that are upset that Caitlin Clark signed a $20 million deal with Nike. And Aja Smith, I think that's her name, Aja Smith, who's the best player in WNBA, not college, the WNBA, she doesn't have a shoe deal. Actually, she does have a shoe deal. She has a shoe deal with Nike, but it's not disclosed. A lot of times when professional athletes get drafted into the sports league, they'll have a shoe deal and it's not recognized as a big marketing deal. And what happens is, based off the performance of the player, the shoe deal will be announced. They'll make more money. They'll start doing this commercials, so forth, so on. So a lot of players have shoe deals, even players that some of us don't think are that good in any league. The reason why Caitlin Clark's shoe deal has made so significant because Nike has decided to put their money behind her because they need it's an investment. And I don't think most people really get why these companies do that. I don't know if it got anything to do with their race. I don't even really even think I'm not even going to take that angle because that angle to me is too easy. The angle is that they think that she can bring asses to the seats. They think that she's going to bring attention to that particular league. So it's an investment. Same thing with what Ice Cube did when Ice Cube tried to offer her $5 million for 10 games for the Big Three. His whole thing was capitalism. He was trying to make money. Like, okay, I'm going to invest $5 million in this young lady, and she's going to bring eyes to our league, which is smart from a strategic standpoint for a person that's trying to make money. So a lot of people upset that Caitlin Clark got this Nike deal, and it it may not even be a return on their investment. I know that a lot of people don't like Nike for what they did to Kyrie Irving, but a lot of times, some people can't sell. Some people can't sell the sport. I don't know if a lot of people even notice what's going on in the NBA. In the NBA, four of the top, I'll say six because it could be an argument. Four of the top six players in the NBA are foreign-born players. The Joker, who arguably could win another MVP. Giannis, Luca, and Joel Embiid. They're foreign-born players. They're four of at least the top six, top seven players in the NBA. The NBA don't make money, don't get profit from the United States. The NBA, and the reason why I turn to the NBA because we have to understand that the target audience is not always the people who we think it is. The NBA makes most of their money off of China, their contracts with China. This is why when Daryl Morey, who at the time was the GM of Houston Rockets, who's now the GM of Philadelphia 76ers, when he criticized China for their treatment of the Uyghur Muslims, the NBA actually fined him because they basically said, don't cut off the hand that feeds you. And China pulled their stuff, and the NBA started losing money, and then boom, COVID hit, and they started making money back. But the NBA was hemorrhaging money. Even during COVID, if you remember, when the WNBA, I didn't mean to call them girls because they're women, Kyrie Irving paid all their salary, the whole salary for the league. Kyrie Irving paid their salary for the league during COVID because they wasn't making no money. So we need to understand that these leagues don't make money. I understand the racial element of Caitlin Clark, even with Angel Reese, like, from a basketball player standpoint, Caitlin Clark has been the best player in college basketball the last 2 years. Come on. Some of us, we come on these platforms and we do a lot of disingenuous stuff and say a lot of stuff that just is just not true. And that's not an opinion. I mean, she's been the best player in college basketball. But that does that mean anything? We know that South Carolina won, and what Dawn Staley has done has been incredible. And Dawn Staley should have been getting her flowers. Now she's getting her flowers. Now we see the celebrities are finally being acknowledging Dawn Staley. Shoot, some of us remember Dawn Staley when she was in college, and she was on that Olympic team, who was rightfully good. I just hope that everybody that cares about women's basketball, whether you follow it from a college standpoint or professional, go to some games this year. I particularly don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the sport it's too hard of a sport to market in the middle of the summer. And I know that Caitlin Clark getting drafted by Indiana. What most people don't know, her boyfriend actually works for the Indiana Pacers. So her getting drafted to that Indiana women's basketball team, it was like the perfect situation for them. The perfect situation for that league. That league is going to do everything possible to market her right now as the next best thing so they can bring attention to the league. And them girls don't care. All them women don't even think about that stuff. They all need attention to that league. They got tired of going overseas. Most of y'all remember when the women had to go overseas because they was making so much money over there. And they still make more money playing overseas. They just want to be in state. But one aspect that I don't think that a lot of people realize when it comes to that sport, and I know a lot of people may get upset with what I'm about to say. The sport needs, the WNBA needs heterosexual women in that sport. The WNBA is highly LGBTQ. Uh, is very the women in that sport are very masculine. So Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, them being very feminine women in that sport, and I'm not saying Caitlin Clark is very feminine because that's neither here nor there. I don't even want to say my opinion about that. But Angel Reese, this is why she wore what she wore at the draft. She was looking for those that like those type of women. She was looking attractive. Uh, so it's very important that is the selling point. I know most people be like, well, LGBTQ, that community is a big draw. It's not a big draw. It's not a big draw like you think. People see women's sports and they don't want to see masculine women. I hate to say it. It doesn't draw. It's never going to draw in Middle America anyway. So we need to be mindful of that. So Caitlin Clark playing basketball from Middle America, in the Middle America, it's not a bad thing that she's drawing all these eyes, drawing all this attention, and it's a good thing that she's drawing all these eyes to the WNBA, and people that support the WNBA need to go out there and support it because it's going to be beneficial for a sport that's 70% black. For a sport that's 70% black. So sometimes we tend to always get caught up in what people say on Twitter. And a lot of people are professional trolls that's on social media. They're literally professional trolls. They just say stuff. They bait you into stuff. They'll have you talking crazy. They'll have you thinking crazy. They just don't even respond sometimes. But for all those that don't know, if you follow that sport, just go if that's what you want to do. But me personally, I know my summer events, how I plan my summer and what I plan to do is not going to be sitting up in no arena with 9,000 people stuffy. It'll be an outside event. Most people go to the beaches. You might take your family to a theme park. Your kids might be in camp. You're not going to an arena for a basketball event. If you're into baseball, it's different. It's outside. It's in the park. Ask the Tampa Bay Rays how many people they draw in the middle of the summer when they've been a good franchise. Ask the Tampa Bay Rays. Ask them. Look at their numbers. Just look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. So with that, I'm gonna start my day, man. You guys take care. Hopefully, got some things coming up. Like I said before, it's a lot of reparation rallies, reparation events, conferences. Um, Make sure you go support those things if that's what you're about. If you're about reparations, definitely lineage-based reparations. You know, make sure you go support it because I know I'm trying to get to a couple of them uh, and be able to engage. So with that, you guys take care. Have a good day and enjoy this beautiful weather.